Chamber of Commerce. And I'd be remiss if I didn't take a moment to, in particular, single out 3 individuals who've worked extremely hard to put this event on. That's the President and CEO, Barry Feingold, and his staff, Laura Callahan, and Stephanie and Julia. I'll add my thanks as well to the corporate sponsors, because you actually make the Chamber run. You've been very generous in the support of the Chamber year in and year out, and I greatly appreciate your supporting this event as well as other events throughout the year. This is a great opportunity for our Chamber, without a doubt. It's a busy election season. There's a lot going on, and certainly Congressman Neal, Tom Wesley had a variety of areas or venues they could have looked to hold their debates. My understanding is that they're having 2 debates in the election cycle, this being one of them. So we feel particularly grateful that they agreed to grace us with their presence, and it's a privilege for us to have them here today. In terms of the format, what you can expect is we've asked both Congressman Neal and Tom Wesley to provide a 10-minute overview. We did do a coin flip. The coin flip was won by the Wesley camp today, so he will be speaking second. Congressman Neal will speak first. And we've asked them to essentially address the question of, if elected or re-elected, what the candidate would intend to do to address the current economic climate in the region, to foster economic recovery and business growth, as well as what could be done to make starting or maintaining a business in the Commonwealth, as opposed to going elsewhere across the border, more attractive. So that's one of the areas that we hope to hear from them on. After the 2 gentlemen have spoken, we'll then go ahead and progress to the debate portion. The debate portion will be done in this fashion. The 3 of us will be seated here. The first question will actually be fielded by Tom Wesley. Each candidate will address each question. You have 3x5 cards on your table to write out your questions. We're not going to be having questions spoken from the floor. Rather, just once you write out a question, Barry and his staff will pick the questions up. Barry will actually read the question. Each candidate gets 3 minutes to address those. We will not have a rebuttal built into this. It'll be 3 minutes each, and then we'll move on to the next question, and so on in the time that we have available to us. And at the end, each candidate will be provided a 2-minute opportunity to provide a wrap-up, any final comments that they'd like to have. The Milford Chamber, as you likely know, is a nonpartisan organization, 501c3. We do not take a position on any of the candidates, but this is an excellent opportunity for you to get your questions answered so that you can make an informed choice when you go to the polls. So, with that in mind, I'd first like to offer a round of applause to the candidates for being here. And now it's my pleasure to provide a brief overview, bio, for the first speaker, that being Congressman Richie Neal. I'm not going to go... Feel free to clap at 5. I'll invite you to also look at the websites for each candidate, because there'll be much more detail in terms of their bios. I've carved it down, because honestly, I believe you want to hear more from them than you do me. And I'm sure if I miss something key, you'll go ahead and make sure that you're aware of it. Congressman Neal has represented, as I think you all know, the 2nd District of Massachusetts now for 22 years. He's a member of the powerful Ways and Means Committee within Congress, chairman of the Subcommittee on Select Revenue Measures, and an at-large whip for the House Democrats. He also is a member of the Trade Subcommittee. More personally, Congressman Neal was born in Worcester, Massachusetts, raised in Springfield, and many of you may recall he served a stint as a mayor in Springfield from 1984 to 1989. He graduated from the American International College with a BA in Political Science, and followed that up at the University of Hartford with a master's degree in Public Administration. He has been honored by the governments of Ireland, Israel, and Italy. As a trustee of Mount Holyoke College, and most recently in Congress, he's been a lead sponsor of legislation designed to prevent American companies from moving offshore to avoid paying U.S. taxes, and he continues to lead in efforts to repeal the alternative minimum tax. So So without any further delay, it's my great pleasure to introduce Congressman Richard Daniels.
Thank you, Bob, very much. And I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce, and I want to thank Barry for the generous invitation that was extended today, so that we might have the opportunity during the course of the next hour to speak of the important issues that confront America. As indicated by way of introduction, I was born in Worcester, raised in Springfield, and I've lived here my entire life. I care about the issues that confront you because I'm one of you. Through my own steep climb, mine is the great American struggle. My mom died when I was 13. We went to live with an elderly aunt and a grandmother. My dad died just 4 years later. We were raised on a small pension that an aunt and a grandmother had, and the bedrock security of social security. Through these opportunities, there was a chance to go to college. I worked at Mercolino's Bakery, a pretty famous entity in Springfield. You would know it better as the Bonacani family of Patriot fame and Dolphin fame. Every day after school, 63 Impala, I commuted up the street to American International College. And worked my way through, secured a master's degree shortly thereafter at the University of Hartford, and have had an extensive teaching career, including work with the Sisters of St. Joseph, which I also highlight in my own. That's not taken away from my time, is it? I was wary. I call that to your attention because the experience I've had is very much like the people of the Blackstone Valley, Milford and Bellingham. I was inspired in public service by John Kennedy. In fact, my mom was smart enough on the day before the presidential election in 1960 to see him on the steps of the Springfield City Hall. I've had a presence here in my congressional office for the last 18 years, run by Virginia Purcell at the post office in Milford. Through that time, we've had thousands of people who have come through that door. When that fire took place at the old mill, Burnett Mills, I was right there. When you asked through Representative Fernandez that work be done on Route 16 in Milford, right there. Pulaski Square in Bellingham, to reconstruct that area, right there. I rode out this morning on Route 146. I know what's happening on Woodstock Road in Southbridge. These are good long-term investments. And I can't emphasize enough the ease with which we get from one point to another increases productivity and greater efficiencies. During the course of my career, I have taken common sense approaches. I don't wake up in the morning ruled by ideology. I embrace what works. Now, I want to call your attention to some of the issues because we acknowledge that this is a very difficult time for all members of the American family. This has been a very challenging time. But my friend, the late Senator Moynihan used to say, we're all entitled to our own set of opinions. What we're not entitled to are our own set of facts. When Bill Clinton left the presidency on January 19th of 2001, America was staring at a $5.7 trillion surplus. Remember that clock in Times Square that used to recount the deficits? Turned off. Alan Greenspan warned that we were in danger of paying down the debt too quickly. So the decision was made right after that to invade Iraq, which, against the position of my leadership in the Congress, I opposed. My argument was let the weapons inspectors finish their work. The decision was made to invade Afghanistan. Now, 5,000 kids have been wounded, 5,000 killed and 35,000 wounded. We are obligated to take care of them through our veteran services and our veterans hospitals. That's a contract we made and we need to keep it. Now, I'm calling these facts to your attention because we also doubled military spending during those times. And then the decision was made to cut taxes by $2.3 trillion. Now, President Bush asked me at the White House what I thought about it.